So, what's up, guys? So, today I'll be telling you guys how I found out I was pregnant at 15. So, I got pregnant in January, but I didn't know. So, I had the symptoms, but I didn't know really what it was for. My symptoms was I just had nasty taste. Like the food I've been eating, I never liked it. It like tasted nasty. I used to feel like I wanted to throw up the food. So when I left my mama's house and I went to my auntie's house, she stayed 2 hours away from here. So I went to my auntie's house and I stayed there for a week. So, remind you, me and my mom came on. We come on around the same time each month. So in January, she came on and she was asking me, did I come on? And I said, not yet. So a couple days came by, went past, and my mama, I kept bugging. My mama said I was bugging her. That's how she knew something was wrong. So she said I kept bugging her. So it was one particular night when I was at my auntie's house. I asked my mom, can she DoorDash me some cookies from McDonald's? So my mama said no. So I guess I was aggravating her, but I never knew I was aggravating her. So I was upset because I needed the cookies now, but I never knew I was pregnant. So I asked my auntie, can we go to the store or whatever? So I went to the store. They didn't have the type of cookies I wanted. So I had an attitude, and she never knew I had an attitude. So I was at my auntie's house, and when I went to her house, and I feel like I was coming on, but I never came on. So it was me and my cousin and this girl. We had a 3-out-of-3 group chat. So the other girl already had a baby. So I'm like, my auntie and them keep asking me, did I come on? And I don't know what to tell her. So I didn't want to be like, no, I ain't come on. And they made me take a pregnancy test because I didn't know. So I was like, I'm spotting. Remind you, I was not spotting. I wasn't doing nothing. I just felt like I was coming on, but I never came on. So mom was like, all right, you should be coming on in a minute. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I ain't come on. So by this time, I'm about 2 weeks late for my period. So I was asking the girl, I'm like, how long do it take to find out something? Because I'm still late on my period. And she was like, about 4 weeks or so. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I stayed with my auntie for a week, and it was time for me to come back home so I can go to school. So I finally got home. So I was asleep, and my mom went to work, and I woke up with bad headaches, and I never knew why I had headaches. So I asked my mom, I'm like, Ma, I have headaches, and I had the headaches to where I started crying on the phone with my mama. So she like, you need an ibuprofen or something. I'm like, all right. So I never took ibuprofen. I just ate some candy and it went away. So mom was like, I kept calling my mama, and she was like, you getting on my nerves or whatever. She was like, you aggravated me. Like every time I called, she had an attitude because I guess I was calling too much. So I was like, so I text my other auntie. Which is on my dad's side. I text her and I asked her, can she bring me a pregnancy test? And she was like, yeah, I bring your pregnancy test or whatever. But she never brought one. So I was telling the baby father that I was late or whatever. And he told me that I need to take a pregnancy test. So I'm like, I'm going to get it or whatever. So he was like, just go get one. I'm like, okay. So nobody wanted to bring me a pregnancy test. So I called my cousin mom, and I was like, can you come get me and I can go to your house take a pregnancy test? And she was like, yeah, I'll come get you after I pick up so and so from school. I was like, okay. So The day I called her, she was like, I'll come the next day. She said she fell asleep that day. So she came the next day after that. So she picked me up. We went to her house. I was chilling with my cousins and all of them, you know, just vibing. So she texted me. She like, go in the bathroom, and it's a cup in the bathroom and pee in it. And when you come out, I'll come in to do the breath test thing. I'm like, okay. So I go to the bathroom and I can't pee for nothing. Like, I cannot pee. I was so nervous. So I call my sister. I'm like, I can't pee. What I supposed to do? She like, drink some water. I'm like, all right. So I told my cousin to come downstairs with me so I could drink some water. Right now, I'm still on the phone with my other sister. So I call her. So I'm like, come downstairs with me so I can drink some water or whatever. So I started a conversation and I'm drinking a little water from the faucet. So she like, I'm on the phone with my sister. She was like, what you finna do? She was at work and she was not supposed to be on her phone. So I'm like, okay. So I go back upstairs. I go in the bathroom and I force myself to pee. And she was like, so I pee. I'm like, oh my God, I pee. I'm scared. So I go back in the room where everybody at. And she was like, I'm gonna go in the bathroom. She texted me. She was like, I'm like, it's on the toilet. It's on the little toilet stool. She was like, okay, I'm finna go in after you. I said, okay. So I come out in the room. My cousins, she go in. She do the thing about not even 5 minutes later, about 3 minutes later, she sent me a picture. She sent me a picture and I was still on the phone with my sister, so when she sent that picture, I automatically started crying and I went downstairs in front of everybody. Like, I left everybody in that room. And I went downstairs and I started crying. And I was on the phone with my sister. I'm like, bro, look at this. I don't know if it's right, but look at it. So I'm crying and I'm downstairs with nobody at, so nobody really down there with me. So I'm down there boiling tears, bro. I swear to God. She like, why you crying so hard? I was just boiling tears because I couldn't believe me out of all people. I was scared. So I'm on the phone with my sister and she was like, tell your baby father. I said, I'm gonna tell him when I get home. So I got on Facebook and he was active. So I called his name. I'm like, such and such. And he was like, yeah. I'm like, I took it. And he was like, what, you pregnant? And I sent a test. And he was like, oh, where you at? And I told him whatever. And he was like, all right, call me when you get back home. I said, okay. So I had told my sister, I'm like, so-and-so. It was different sister I was on the phone with. I told sister that I went on the phone with my older sister. I told her, I'm like, look. And I sent her that pregnancy. And she was like, how you gonna tell mama? I said, I don't know. She was like, you gonna keep it? I was like, yeah. She was like, how you gonna tell mama? I'm like, I figure it out. So my cousins and us, so after I got done crying or whatever, I accepted the fact real quick because I couldn't go around everybody else crying because they was gonna know something up. So I go around all of them and my cousins play fighting with somebody else that they had over there. So I'm started laughing at them. So my cousin mama texts me like, how you gonna tell mama? I told her, I don't know. She was like, you want me to tell her? I was like, no, because I got to go back and you don't. I said, no, She was like, okay, but you need to tell her soon because you need to go to the doctors and stuff. I said, okay, I'm going to tell her on her day off because I don't want her to be at work while I tell her and something happened. So I'm like, I'll tell her soon. And then she was like, okay, but if you don't tell her in this amount of time, then I'm going to tell her myself because you need to go to the doctor. I said, all right. So whatever, we went back home and I knew I was pregnant. So only me, my two sisters, my cousin mama, and my baby father knew I was pregnant. How my mama found out was I was supposed to go to my sister's house and we told her there. But I thought about it like, I'm not staying the night at your house, so don't tell her because I gotta go back home. So I'm like, no, we can't tell her no. We can't tell her no. So I found out January 27th that I was pregnant for real. So I told my mama like a week later. So I'm like, I didn't tell my mama for. So my sister came over my house and she was like, she didn't really tell my mama, but like she came over my house to tell my mama for me, so my mama wouldn't jump on me. So, cause my mama kept on the side that she was like, you taking the pregnancy test because why your period still ain't coming? My period off and I'm finna come back on. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, something must be wrong with my cycle. She said, can't nothing be wrong with your cycle. Everything been going good or whatever. So I'm like, I don't know. So she like, all right, whatever. So she keep going to work. So she stayed going to work, and she thinking about me, but she not really letting me know that she thinking about me. So I'm like, I gotta tell her because my baby father already told his mama and everybody else, but I still haven't told my mama. So I'm like, I gotta tell her. He like, tell her. I'm like, I can't just tell her because it's different from you and me. Your mom gonna say okay, but my mama, she's gonna be mad at me or she's gonna try to jump on me or whatever case may be. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, can you come over? I told my sister, can you come over? You tell her whatever. She was like, I'm finna come over because she need to know ASAP. I said, all right. So she come over. We leaving the bank. My sister come over or whatever. So my sister text me. She like, you ready? I said, yeah. So she like, she didn't say nothing until I got up and went to the bathroom. I got up and went to the bathroom, and she was like, Ma, you know Nana pregnant. She was like, I already knew, because she was aggravating me, and she didn't come on her period. I just need to know pregnancy test, whatever. She was like, I know. But she getting an abortion anyways. I said, oh, no. So I started crying. So my sister was like, don't make her get no abortion. It's just a lesson learned or whatever. So Mom was like, I need some proof that she pregnant. So my sister was like, I'm finna send you a pregnancy test. And my sister sent my mom a pregnancy test. And she was like, so when you take this? I'm like, what you mean? She like, where you take it at? I ain't want to tell her I took it at my cousin's house because she was gonna know when all that happened. And I ain't want nobody else to get in trouble for what I did. So I'm like, I took it here. She was like, that's not my bathroom. I'm like, I took it here, you just might not see it, but I took it here. She was like, I'm gonna go buy one, you finna take one for me. I'm like, all right. So my mama was like, I need to talk to your baby daddy. I'm like, all right. So I was texting him while she was talking about the abortion or whatever. So I'm like, she talking about abortion, whoop. He was like, that's not what we're gonna do. He was like, Mama said you couldn't live with me. So Mom was like, so she like, I need to go to the store and get something to cook real quick because you threw me off. So I'm like, all right. So I got to the store. I'm like, can you buy me this? She was like, no, you want to be wrong. You got to buy your own stuff. I'm like, all right. So I was craving some cereal. So I had bought my cereal, my milk, whatever, and the rest of my snacks. So I come back home and my sister is on the phone with my baby father. So she got on the phone with my baby father and she was like, so when was this? And he was like, you want me to tell you for real? She was like, yeah. And he told her. So my mom was like, you know we getting an abortion, right? He was like, Ma. He was like, no, I know abortion, Ma, I can't do the abortion. She was like, nah, so-and-so, we agreed on everything until now. He was like, yeah, Ma, but not abortion. So all right. So she was like, all right, I'll think about it. So that happened. And The pregnancy test that I sent my mama, swear to God, no lie, that same night, it's the family group chat that my mama got. She sent the pregnancy test to my family group chat, which means my auntie and then my Christian auntie, my older cousins, my little cousins, like my whole family's in this group chat. So I couldn't even tell I was pregnant for 10 minutes and then she done told my family. I'm like, wow. I'm like, I hit it for nothing if you finna tell the whole people, bro. So I'm like, oh my God. So she's steady saying, I think you finna get an abortion. I can't do a baby. I can't. So she like, so I'm like, I already called and made my doctor's appointment, which I didn't, but when she went to work that next day, I called and made it already. And it was like, you scheduled for March 10th or something. And they gave me, and when they did the ultrasound, it was this little, it was a little seed or whatever. I'm gonna put a picture right here. But it was a little seed. And it was a baby, but I wasn't feeling nothing. But the symptoms or whatever. So she was like, you won't feel no movement until like your 5th month or whatever. They was like, it was telling me all about the stuff. But yeah, that's how I found out I was pregnant. And that's how I told my mom. And the way my mom told my dad was, she just sent the pregnancy test. She was like, look. And she was like, he was like, I hope that ain't Sharnae's. And she was like, yes. He was like, oh, I should get an abortion. Both of my parents did an abortion, but we wasn't. Me and the father and mother was not on abortion. So we just did that or whatever. So yeah, that's how I found out. And my due date is October 2nd. And I'm 36 weeks and 6 days. So yeah. But thank you guys for watching. And y'all comment some more videos to do because I don't know what to do. I just told y'all this story because everybody else told y'all theirs. And I'm bored and I'll be watching everybody else's. So yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Can y'all like, comment, and subscribe? And if y'all is a teen mom, can y'all tell me how y'all told y'all parents in the comments? And I will comment back to y'all. And feel free to text me. My social media will be in the description down below. And yeah.